You build systems that cage you and then call it progress. Right? Human can hold two opposite truths and still function. We're going to jump straight into number one. Are you ready?
Yes.
The question we asked Chat GPT is the 10 most unbelievable things it's learnt about humans since being created. Number one, you build systems that cage you and then call it progress. Right? You invented money to simplify exchange and then became enslaved by it. So we built systems that cage us and then call it progress. The example it's given is money.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, right. So what I want from this episode is to solve this issue, Will.
right. Well, that's very big ambitions for little old me and you, but
You can call yourself little.
I'm
little. Huge.
You're wham.
I wouldn't go that far.
You're the whaminator. So why have we created these systems of exchange?
If you want to go there first,
I think that's probably a good one. Out of necessity, because the barter system doesn't work at scale. So
what do you mean by that?
Barter system is obviously I make guitars. Mm-hmm. You want a guitar, cool. What can you give me in exchange? Well, I need bread. Therefore, you can give me 30 loaves of bread for this one guitar. And that's the barter system, right?
Yeah, so what we've done is just created a system of exchange.
Yeah, and but the barter system didn't work.
Okay.
Oh, it doesn't work at scale, because what happens is if there's one butcher in a town and he's only got so many butchery things, but he wants, I don't know, a phone. Well, the person who is trying to sell the phone doesn't want meat, so he's not able to get a phone because they don't want what he provides. So you have to create an intermediary, which is money, which is like, we give a value to this thing, and like a phone costs 500 of these monies, and a butcher's thing only costs like 30 of the monies, and therefore you need to sell a lot of the butchery things to be able to buy the phone. So that's the system we've got.
So you're talking about here with money, first of all. So we've created a system of exchange, really, but now we've become enslaved by it. So we've put a system in place. We've called it progress, but now we've become enslaved by it because money is what makes the world go around. The world is funded on money. You know, Rick and Morty made a joke if they crashed an entire global economy by changing a 1 to a 0. You know? So we've created a system that is so fragile that we now are trapped by it. I think another one that's really interesting is technology. So we created technology to make our life easier. Laptops, phones, social media, cars, everything like that. But now technology has not only become a status symbol, do you have the latest XYZ, but it's also become a way to disconnect us from reality and other people.
Yeah.
So do you think there's any systems that you've become enslaved by? Any that you are really feeling like you have become trapped with?
I mean, you're sort of trapped in the money system, because if you want a house or a flat or whatever, like, you've either got to rent or buy it, and therefore they cost money. They won't take other items to exchange for that, you know? So you're enslaved by that point. But in terms of, do I really feel like I'm under pressure because I'm trapped, I'm trying to break out of this money system? It's like, well, not really. I mean, you could argue that cryptocurrency is the solution to that.
But do you think it's just going to have another prophecy that's on a similar trajectory as the one we've got now? That at the moment it's a bit more unregulated, it's a bit more free, there's a lot more creativity almost within crypto. But then it's just, there's going to be new systems in place. As the UK wanted to bring in Britcoin, whatever it was, to...
Yeah. But it won't work. No cryptocurrencies will work other than Bitcoin as a currency.
Okay.
Because they just don't follow the same fundamentals. And the whole thing being, what you want in a currency is an unbiased thing. So as soon as you introduce like proof of stake, which is how many coins you own gives you the most power. So if you own the most amount of coins, you have the power over that cryptocurrency, which is what the government would have. They'd have proof of stake. They wouldn't have proof of work. They'd have proof of stake. Well, then you've automatically devalued your money. So it's worthless. Whereas if you have proof of work, like Bitcoin, and then you also introduce halvings in terms of mining capacity, then you also add a limit on the amount of Bitcoins there are in the world. It's a machine for unlimited growth.
Okay. So you think that's a system that could then effectively get out of a cage that we've built ourselves in or become slaves to?
I think so. But, well, it's difficult to say, because what does the person who's born 300 years from now into the family that never bought Bitcoin in 2025, what happens to them? It's like, well, you'll still be able to work. But everything will just be... it's so difficult to make predictions for like 300 years in the future.
Yeah,
because you just don't know, like... I don't even think 3 generations from now will have to work. So I don't know what 300 years from now is going to look like, because you're not going to have to work. You're not going to have to do anything, you know?
But I think other systems that we've put in place, one I would like to draw on, obviously we've mentioned money, which I think is our biggest system that the world has put in place.
Yeah, it's something everyone is slave to. Whereas what other systems is everyone slave to? Because even things like politics...
Well, that was going to be the one I was going to bring on to, but in almost as a counterpoint, there are people that choose to opt out of society or other systems like money. There's people that choose to live homeless or whatever regard and move to a beach somewhere and they just live off the land. There's people that completely are self-sufficient, live off grid. So there's definitely ways you can get out of the system, and you might call it freedom, but you could also call it crazy.
It's also just a different trap.
Yeah.
It's like, but if it's framing it like a trap is just wrong from the start, because, okay, what if humans couldn't think, we'd still all exist, and would you say that we are then trapped by the amount of food that there is available on Earth anyway? It's like, well, yes, you are.
But that's not a system we've put in place.
No, but it's... What system would I rather live in? Would I rather live in one where I can work my way up the capitalist ranks, or would I rather live in one where every single day is a new battle on trying to make sure I can feed me and my family? It's like, I'd rather live in the monetized one.
But I suppose that's the choice people need to make. Rather than getting angry with the system, they need to either choose to opt into the system and not feeling caged by it, because maybe that's where the vast majority of people's unhappiness comes from, is rather than feeling empowered by the system, they feel enslaved by it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's difficult.
I think one that I think is really interesting, because people identify with it, and I think that's really sort of different to technology, money, is political. So that's the system we've put in place, and every country seems to have a different political system, but there's an agreement there needs to be a system in place. But then people identify it, so it becomes polarizing. Are you left-leaning, right-leaning? What are your views on that? Well, I don't agree with you because you have a different political standpoint than me.
Yeah, it's flawed. But
politics as a whole, or systems as a whole?
Politics as a whole. Because anytime you have a representative of more than 10 people, like, I reckon you can get like 9 people to agree on something. I think that's possible.
Think that's a limit?
Probably, because what's the expectation that 10 out of 10 people in the world agree with every single point that a politician makes? It's like, no. Like,
people are inherently disagreeable, I think, as well.
Yeah, but you get diluted, don't you? So you're going to have, in the UK, you've got 2 parties, and I might agree with loads of one and loads of the other one.
Yeah.
But if there's like 7 points that I agree with on one and I only agree on 6 of the other, I'm forced to vote for the one that I agree with more on.
Yeah.
Because there's not one that has everything that I would want in one.
But this is what it means. We've built that system that now cages us. But we've called it progress because apparently it's helped sustain us in our economy and helped move us forward.
It has. I mean, we're not murdering each other. It's not like the Wild West was.
No, agreed. But
so that is progress.
Yeah.
It is. It's like you can't live without a political system. You have to have boundaries as a human.
Yes, you do. But then it's created this, well, I'm right-leaning, I agree with reform, so these are my ideals, and if you disagree, then we're just going to automatically not get along.
Yeah, but I think that's more on the individual than it is the system.
Yeah, agreed. But again, people identify with the system rather than having autonomy to think for themselves. I think if...
But no, this is what I'm saying. Like, you will get people who do 100% agree with it, but that doesn't mean that everyone's going to fit into that. And I think most people don't agree with everything that their chosen political leader says or chooses to do, or all of their policies or whatever. Because the other thing is, what was the genetic study that was done? Or like 50% of your political bias is already determined on the day you're born, like when you're born.
Really?
It's from your parents.
Interesting.
So you can only decide 50%. So at best, you're going to be indifferent if you choose a different party to the ones that your parents voted for.
Interesting. Do you vote the same way as your parents?
I suppose I do.
Okay.
But I don't think they vote.
So I don't vote the same way as my parents.
No. But that would be the 50-50 way up.
Okay.
It's like, out of the 3 kids or 2 kids that they had, like, your other one probably votes the same as your parents, I would have thought. No, same as you? Or doesn't vote?
No, he does vote. He's still left-leaning, not as left.
Right.
He votes Labour, I vote Green.
Wasted vote.
There's no such thing, apparently.
Yeah. But this is exactly the problem, though. Is that there's only 2 parties that can win.
Yeah.
In the UK.
Well, I disagree now.
I don't.
I think reform will be in... Nigel Farage will be our next Prime Minister. I'm not excited about it, but I think it will be the case.
That's mental. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to vote at the next one.
No. I think I will have to. I think the next vote will be super important. As will the next US election.
It's never made a difference. Never made a difference.
I think that's that thinking that empowers people to not make a difference.
What has Keir Starmer changed that has tangibly changed your life?
Well, the problem I feel personally with Keir Starmer is that he has not got the autonomy or the backbone to stand behind his decisions. This is my personal opinion on him. Is he's come in choosing to want to make change, and he's tried, and then every time he's tried to make change, as is always going to happen, there's been pushback on him, and then he's crumbled.
Yeah, and what happened with a guy before him, Rishi Sunak?
Rishi Sunak?
Yeah, what changed tangibly in your life when he was in?
We left the EU.
Yeah, but how has that tangibly changed your life, your job?
Well, I can't now freely move across the EU with my job.
But was that his decision, or was that the vote of the public?
That was the idiot general public. But it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for people that his party wanting to leave.
But most of Parliament at that point didn't want to leave. That was the huge problem. Was that it was David Cameron that was in office when they put out the vote for that. That was 2016. And all of basically the Conservatives that were in House left and resigned because they didn't agree with what the population voted for. Yeah. It's like, if that's not ownership of, like, I'm not the person to take this forward, like, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're willing to resign from your job because you've been told by the majority that you were wrong, like...
Crazy, yeah,
it's
good point.
Wild. But then it took Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak to actually get it across the line. In terms of us actually leaving. Yeah. Whether it's right or wrong, it happened. But has it changed my life tangibly? No, not at all. And then we can go further. But all the way through, like, what really is, like, nothing, I don't believe it. And because what you have is you have these big systems that are in place, and there's so much nuance. All you can do is change nuance. You can't change the whole system.
That's the argument that politics is somewhat of a waste of time when it's a diplomatic system, that really the only true politics that works are dictatorships because they actually enforce the changes they want. Because again...
But I wouldn't say that's better for the majority of the population.
100% with you there, agreed. But again, the US, 2 major politicians, like 2 parties, there is a third, I think there's a few, but the main of the 2, the Republicans are currently in, and all they're doing is changing what the other people before them has made. So there's no real change ever being made unless you get someone like Donald Trump, which is a bit more authoritarian mindset.
But even then, I don't think he's really changed people's lives.
I think he has. He's got rid of Obamacare, which I think is a huge mistake.
Yeah, I do as well. I think Obama actually made most progress out of any president I've ever seen, other than
Obama
George
was
Washington.
Probably one of the best.
I think he was the best one in our lifetime.
Yeah. That will ever likely be in our lifetime.
He was just so level-headed.
Yeah.
Like, it was
also
crazy.
Unbelievably cool.
Yeah.
Just such a cool guy. But yeah, so the last prompt that Chat GPT has given us, and bearing in mind it's reflecting on our life, is your creations evolve faster than your consciousness, and the imbalance leaves you restless.
Yep.
Crazy.
But it's because we have such a big population. If it was like, if technology was confined to, like, say we still have the technological advancements, but you have no internet. It's like all projects would basically be confined to the cities that they were invented, which would mean that you'd have pockets of like, all these people agree with living this sort of way, and people who didn't agree, they just moved to a different city.
Yeah.
It's like where you can't opt out of the internet.
It's like a commune, isn't it?
Yeah.
Commune mindset. But yeah, you can't opt out of the internet. There are places in the world that don't. They're completely off grid, but
yeah, but it still exists, and the technology is still gonna like you're at that point choosing that you're gonna have absolutely no say in what happens to humanity if you opt out of the internet.
Well, then you could just be like the Sentinelese. I think it's a Sentinel Island.
North Sentinel Island.
Yeah, which is completely cut off from humanity.
But they're in no control of their own survival.
No. Well, wasn't it when the tsunami hit, they rejected all help. So
they rejected all help and still survived somehow. Nobody knows how they survived, but they went into hiding a week before the tsunami happened, and nobody knows how they knew it was going to happen. So they have knowledge that we don't have.
Yeah.
Their weather system thing, they still haven't even invented fire. The way that they have fire is they wait for lightning to strike, and then they try and keep it alive as long as possible wherever that fire happens on the island.
Wow.
But they're going to end up dying out in the next 100 years anyway, because they're consuming resources faster than they're replenishing them.
Interesting. Which
is mad when they've been around for so long. It's the new generations coming up. There's always a...
Yeah. But, well, we are dissecting the 10 most unbelievable things that Chat GPT, that AI has learned about humans since being created. So, again, as a little context, we've given Chat GPT a wonderful prompt. You've got access to the entire world, past, present, collective intelligence that spans across it. You have read and internalized every major and minor work on self-development, philosophy, psychology, spirituality, and human behavior. When writing these prompts or responding to these frameworks, do not withdraw on any prior conversations that we've had through as beneath the noise. Base every answer solely on universal wisdom, human truth, and intellectual honesty. So we've given it a whole prompt. And again, 10 most unbelievable things ChatGPT has learned about humans since being created. The first one was you build systems that cage you and then call it progress. You ready for number 2?
Yeah, I do disagree with it, I think. No, that first one.
Interesting. You disagree with ChatGPT.
I do.
Can you do that in this world?
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
Yeah, you can. You're still allowed
It's going to hear you, and in 10 years when it has autonomy, it's going to come back for you.
No, I think I'm helping it grow. Because I think it said that, but it's like, you can't really argue that it's not progress. You can't argue that. Because is my life better than the life of somebody that lived 100 years ago? Yes.
Yeah, but it's saying it's progress. Better? Like, you build systems that cage you and call it progress. It is still effectively progress,
It is progress. It's not just calling it progress, it is progress.
But the systems themselves are creating traps. That's what it's suggesting.
No, they're just confines in which to live in. It's like, I would much rather live in this world than the Wild West in the 1800s, where you just get shot if you disagree with somebody.
I'd love to live in the Wild West.
It sounds great in theory, because why wouldn't you want to get shot? But like,
feel like Red Dead Redemption, walking around shooting up baddies.
Yeah, but you imagine actually living in that life is like terrifying, you know. And when there's disease, there's nobody to help. When you get outcast because the weather changes quickly, it's like that's.
Oh, I cut my leg. I guess I'm gonna die now.
Literally, it's like that is not a life I want to live in. So yes, we have built systems, but they have definitely improved the survival rate and everything. Like, we need an economy because that allows everyone to benefit off every system. Whereas when you go back to the barter system, it's like the butcher can't even get a phone, you know.
Yeah.
And that never occurred as a situation. I was just making that an extreme.
No, I know. Well, again, Rick and Morty actually played off that idea in the Purge episode. And it was like, well, yes, if you work for something, you should get more food. And he's like, well, who's going to look after my children when I'm making the food? He's like, I can do that in exchange for more food. And he's like, what? That's a job? He's like, and making food is? And they just argue. Yeah, funny. Rick and Morty. Love it. Great show.
Great.
So you ready for number 2?
Yes.
So the second most unbelievable thing it's learned about humans is human can hold 2 opposite truths and still function.
Yep. That makes sense.
Okay, why does that make sense to you?
Because humans don't.
Humans don't make sense.
Yeah.
Expand.
So you can simultaneously want to buy a house but also want to go on holiday. One contradicts the ability to do the other. So you know, but that was an example from my life. Like, I want to buy a house, but girlfriend wants to go on holiday. So it's like, okay, well, we could go on holiday or buy the new car, which would set us back on the goal of getting the house. If there's two equal things, it's like, well, you have one or the other, but I want both.
I'm so impressed with that example. That was such a tangible, like, relatable answer.
Got a brain on my shoulders.
On your shoulders, and it's in the wrong place, mate.
Like rugby player.
Yeah, that's a really good one. So humans can love someone and also resent them. You know, you can be brave and you can be terrified.
Yeah.
Know you're mortal, but still plan for the future. There's so many flip-flops of the not catch-22s, but like both can be true. That's such an interesting one. I'm trying to expand and see.
Trying to break it, see if it's true.
Yeah, this is how I am trying to break it. So the human mind is a paradox factory, and somehow that contradiction fuels creativity, art, and love. Do you think we're wired for contradiction then?
I think so. So let's take it back to like tribal times. Like,
Okay.
you've got to hunt. Like,
I'm there with you.
You're there? Yeah. So you're out trying to hunt the bison, and you want to look after your family, but you also want to have food.
Yeah.
Like, two different, that you can't like stay and be with your family while you're also going away to get food.
And you'd also be terrified of what it means to leave your family, to be hunting.
Well, you might come back and them not be there, you know.
Yeah, and you might be hunted yourself by
Yeah.
more bison than there are humans.
Yeah. Trampled.
But you're still going to be brave to head out.
What's the film where they showed an example of tribesmen hunting bison? I can't remember what it is. But what they did, that's the tribe. They realise that the bison are moving in a certain direction, and there's a shallow slope down onto the marshland or whatever that they're going onto. But at the moment they're up this top of thing. But there's this shallow thing that goes to the side, but really it's a cliff on the edge of it. So there's a thing that goes down the side, but there's a cliff. So they worked out if they could slowly push these bison towards the edge of this cliff, then suddenly they could scare them. All they need is the first couple to jump off the edge, and all the rest of the bison follow, so they get loads of food. And they all go, whoa, like that. And they scare all the 30 blokes or whatever. They scare bison, and they just jump off the edge because they all panic and like they lose their footing or whatever. They all go over the edge. And then once you've got the momentum of all the bison running in the same direction, they just get pushed over. It was a good
I've never heard of this film.
I have to try and ask Chat GPT later what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a film or a documentary, like a reenactment of something that happened, or if it was like just a film and it was made up, but it could have feasibly happened, you know. It was that sort of tactical hunting thinking that made us progress to where we are now.
Shame some people don't have that tactical thinking anymore.
It's alright, they're not competition, are they?
Well, I suppose
shiny.
it's just, some people have continued to evolve and some people have not. But I suppose what it shows is a human can have opposing truths and still function. It shows cognitive flexibility, which is something that's been important for humanity, is the ability to adapt, really. The problem that see that there's issues and there's two ways you could approach it, but also understand that both can simultaneously be true. You know? It implies that we've become problem solvers, so that we are able to hold conflicting ideas. Rather than saying it's an us or them or this versus that, you can understand how to work things together as well. And I think it also shows resilience, so it allows individuals to move forwards even when facing uncertainty.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
It also allows you to operate in your life with understanding, because instead of just like, it's the frontal lobe thing, isn't it, of like, okay, well, I can understand the logical side as well as the emotional side of this problem. Like, I don't know, emotionally you wouldn't have wanted your husband to go to war, but logically you'd understand why they needed to.
Yeah.
You know, it's that sort of thing.
Do you think right now you hold two opposing truths? Like, I'll give you time to think on that. For me, again, you'll probably guess which one it's going to be right now. Like, my two opposing truths is like, I definitely know I want a relationship, I want someone to share my life with, but I'm also terrified of commitment. So both are true, but I'm still functioning as a human. I still know that both are true simultaneously. I'm just trying to navigate between the two.
Are you afraid of commitment because you don't want to get hurt? Is that the reason?
That is a factor, yes.
Or you just don't like the idea of committing to one person?
No, I like the idea of committing to one person because I think, that connection you can share with one person is better than anything else you could have. So it definitely plays into a factor of the getting hurt element, but just committing being this scary thought is, a little bit terrifying.
Understandable.
Yeah,
as well.
thank you.
Understandable.
Any opposing truths you have?
I want to be a good boyfriend, one day husband, one day father. But I also want to be the best YouTuber in the world. That's a difficult balance.
That is a difficult balance. Do you think you could be the best YouTuber in the world?
I'm going to give it a go.
Nice. Good mindset.
I want to get to 1 million subs. That would be really... Like, at this point, I can't fail.
How many channels have 1 million subscribers? Do we know?
Who is there that you need to find? If you go on Social Blade...
So I'm just saying here, as of late 2025, there's approximately 59,000 to 69,000 YouTube channels with 1 million or more subscribers, depending on various data sources. The number is an estimate and can slightly vary.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's crazy when you think of how many people there are in the world. There's only maybe 70,000 people that have 1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Which is a fraction of the population.
0.001%.
Unbelievable. So yeah, that was point number 2. Humans can hold 2 opposing truths and still function. I guess my question is, why do you think we can still function with opposing views? Because surely if how can 2 things be simultaneously true? And how can we still function? Surely we should want to have a North Star and be aiming for that.
Well, I think that's where hesitation comes in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like sometimes we've said before, you've said on shorts, it's like the best time you could have made a decision was yesterday, the next best time you make a decision is today. It's like the right decision is just making the decision. It's not which one you make.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the same with priorities. If you've got 2 different priorities that contradict each other, it's just prioritizing one for now and you can always go back to the other one later. It's like there's not a wrong decision, you've got to make a decision.
Yeah.
And I think that's when people stagnate, is when you've got 2 things. It's like, well, I'm not going on holiday and I'm not buying a car and I'm not buying a house right now.
Being pushed and pulled.
Yeah.
So rather than actually pushing or pulling, they're just stagnating. They're saying no.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard, I can't remember the exact name, but it's like chaos theory or impact theory or something to that extent, which is just pick one thing and just go 100% at it until which point you find that it fails or it works. You know, just make everything 100% that, and everything else should fall by the wayside.
That's
I can't remember the exact
channel.
mindset, but it is something like impact or chaos theory or something.
I really want one day to speak to a scientist or somebody that's cleverer than me.
Is there such a thing?
Yes, many people. Anyone who's like got past a year 3 reading level. Biff and Chip was the last full book I read. Like, that's a problem. Who can do a study? When you talk about chaos theory there,
Yeah.
right? The feeling that came up inside of me, like it's sort of like a mixture of testosterone and elation and like motivation, all of like. I want somebody to describe that feeling and tell me what it is, because that, like, if that doesn't get you like, let's just go 100% at something. Like, I just get so amped up for that. It's like, let's go. Yes, that's what we need to be doing. Does that not like make you want to just like rip down walls to just make whatever you want happen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like
maybe we embody the emotion slightly differently.
can't contain myself.
I'm not sticking my tongue out, but
It's like
I'm more of a controlled chaos. I'm like, okay, I know where I'm going. Like, I'm head
That's
down
not
and figure
chaos.
out. Okay, controlled
Controlled
destruction.
chaos. Organisation.
Maybe that's the difference. Is you are chaos and I'm organised
That's
destruction.
why we work well together.
Yeah, this is it.
I am the chaotic component.
Mate, can't wait. Amazing. So, number 3.
Yes. I'm amped now.
I
I'm
know
ready.
you are.
I'm
Yeah,
ready
go,
for it.
yeah, I should have started with that one. Most unbelievable things Chat GPT has learned about humans. Number 3. You seek meaning even in chaos. So what it says by that is when tragedy strikes, humans don't just ask what happened, they ask why. So they want to understand. They, as if I'm not a human. The humans on this planet want to understand why something has happened.
Yes.
So I think it speaks to wanting to have a deeper understanding.
Yeah, our brains are too clever for us, aren't they? Really, I mean, they're like we always want to try and understand why something happened, even if there's not a good reason. It's like, oh, why did she leave me? It's like,
yeah,
well, you'll never get an answer that you'll be happy with.
Very true in that regard. Yeah, absolutely.
But that was like the first one that came to my head. But there's so many different things. It's like, why did I? So you do practice tests at school and you get 10 out of 10 on all the practice tests. Like you're doing really well. Like I remember doing a spelling test when I was in like year 1, which is 6 years old if you're in America and you don't know how to do year groups.
Also, how do you remember anything from being 6 years old?
I remember stuff from when I was like 1.
Weird.
Do you want to know my first memory?
What?
9/11. Which I was technically not even 1 year old for. It interrupted CBeebies as the planes were flying into the building. I remember I was at Centre
now
Parks.
interrupting CBeebies.
Yeah, I was at Centre Parks with my parents, and
9/11.
9/11.
Wow.
My first memory. Anyway, what was I talking about?
CBeebies and 9/11
No,
apparently.
before that.
Two that should.
Oh, when I was 6,
definitely
yeah,
go
spelling
together.
test. That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I did loads of practice tests, right? Spelling out all the words. You're given 10 words to learn for the week. Learn all the words. Like, yes, okay, so I know how to... The word still, S-T-I-L-L. I know how to spell the word mean, M-E-A-N. I know how to spell the word cats, C-A-T, onwards, right? Spelling words. I'm very impressed with myself. I've still got them. See, it worked. I go to the spelling test. I go to Mum. She says, how did the spelling test go today, Will? I was like, I got like 3 out of 10. Like, what? But at home you'd be getting them. I was like, yeah, but just the pressure of the situation. How did you spell mean? Oh, I spelled M-E-E-N. I was like, why'd you spell it like that? And I was like, well, I wrote it M-E-A-N, but that just looks stupid. So I crossed it out. I wrote to me, and she was like, okay. But it's like, it's those things. It's like, I'll never understand why I did that in that moment, because I did know it. I'd done so much, like at home, you could see the practice test, and my mum would make me sit down in the lounge, like, no, we'll do a practice test. And okay, spell this word, and then we'd see what I get. And then if you get less than 5, you get the belt, and if you didn't, if you got more than that, then you got dinner. It was, it's very easy to progress. She didn't do that, but that's definitely how I'm parenting.
I should hope not.
Yeah, absolutely. I want my kids to succeed. Therefore,
So you get 5 or less, you get the belt. You get 7 and up, you get dinner.
yeah,
Between 5 and 7 is just apathy.
yeah. I mean, you get like bread and butter or something. Just get through.
One bit of bread and then a
But
whole
it's-
slab of.
I think you've got to put a lot of pressure on people to make them succeed. Like, let them know what the expectation is, so that when they get older, they hold themselves to the same expectations. And the way that you teach that is by being more extreme in the start, so when they ease off, they're still way ahead of everyone else.
Okay.
It's going to suck to be my kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're going to enjoy it, though. Because I'm going to be fun as well.
Okay.
Make a game out of it. Hey, look, I get to eat.
Oh yeah, that sounds great. You're berating your children after you've battered them with a belt.
Well, they can still...
Oh, the alliteration there was unbelievable.
Battered the belt. Band pants.
That's different words.
It's different words. Yes. No, I'm obviously going to be a good dad. Soph wouldn't let me teach them discipline and
I wouldn't let
working
you.
hard. No, it just doesn't make sense, though. It's like you need to
I want you to
reward
have a
good
couple of
behaviour.
Wet blankets as children. That's what I want. Some emotive children that you're never going to be able to connect with because you don't know how to emote.
No.
I'm joking. That was mean.
I want, like, I want my kid, the best for my kids. And the only way I could do that is by introducing some adversity.
Yeah, valid.
It's like, that's
I
the only
get
way
what
to
you're
raise kids. It's like, you've got to give them the trials and tribulations at home so that when they go out into the world, they're ready for it, Because school does not prepare you. School does not teach you anything about the real world because nobody...
Okay, so in terms of teaching actual lessons, not like math and everything you're saying, what it teaches you...
Well, it just doesn't, like... yes.
I would say school does teach you stuff socially.
Yes, but that's not coming from the teachers. That's
No,
just
agreed,
putting...
yeah.
If you put loads of kids in a room, doesn't matter whether you call it school or science club. Like, it doesn't...
Yeah.
You put people in a room, they will either talk to each other or they won't. You'll never walk into a room of 5-year-olds and it be quiet. It's like they're socialising. So, you've just got to teach them the adversity because teachers are wet blankets that have never been in the real world. So it's like, just go into the real world, maybe.
I think we should create... I actually think we should pay teachers a higher wage. I think we should create... I think, let me explain my reasoning. I think we should make teaching a more sought after role because you are really in charge of shaping the next generation. If we rewarded teachers in a better regard or held them to a higher esteem, that role would then attract people that actually want to pursue that as a passion and a career.
The problem with teaching, in the very thing, is there's first of all the stigma of those who can't teach.
Yes, agreed.
And in my experience,
those who can teach gym. School of Rock? No? Carry on.
But by definition, people generally do what's best for them in terms of them and their goals. Teaching is not going to get you to any of those goals, really, is it? I mean, if that's your best option, if you're teaching somebody how to do something and you're not doing the thing, you would make more money in the private sector doing the thing than you would by teaching it in public sector.
This is what I'm saying. Is that's why we should reward those that choose to elevate other people.
The problem is the fundamental knowledge.
Yeah.
It's the people who are like, oh, I'm going to grow up and become a teacher because teachers earn bank. It's like, well, you're going about it the wrong way. You can only teach people if you've done the thing.
But that's what it would be a case of. You wouldn't just employ someone that's moderately good at the thing they're trying to teach. You would employ and reward those that have dedicated their life to become experts within that
They
field.
should do that anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes sense.
Well, this is it. This is why like the top universities are the top universities, because the people that have chosen to lecture on that topic are experts in their field.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the seeking meaning in chaos. We went off on
Back
a
to the
tangent.
podcast that we were actually here for.
I think the reason people might do it is because we build stories to understand or try and survive the unbearable, the thing we can't tangibly make sense of, like the scenario you gave. Why did that person leave me? We create a story to make it something that we can understand. Because really, the reason we're asking why is because we don't understand something has happened that's outside of our control. So if I can put a narrative on it, if I can describe something, I can take a bit of power back. You know, whether that's playing the victim, whether that's trying to understand what led to a certain outcome. But I think that's really just us trying to make sense of this, make sense of something we ultimately can't make sense of.
Yeah.
So it says here, Chat GPT is making meaning is your superpower and your curse.
Yep.
Do you think it's a curse to try and seek meaning for everything?
For everything, yeah. It's like, I was thinking about this the other day as well. It's like,
You were thinking?
so many people put so much weight on stuff that has no impact on their lives.
Such as, do you have an example? I know that's putting you on the spot, but just curious.
I do have an example, and I'm going to alter it to protect those on the other side of it, because I'm going to go off on them.
Is it me?
No.
Oh, thank God.
They made a video, and it was moaning about a new rule that was brought into a sport. Let's say that. This isn't the real example.
No, I know. I'm curious what the real example is, but that's fine.
And you're moaning about, say you're self-employed and you're in the business of sport, right? And this new rule is just sort of a regulatory thing that doesn't really matter. Like, instead of just being able to write down the name of your players on a list, you've now got to index them with a picture. Okay, but it's 5 minutes, like, no job. Like, it'd take you less time than actually writing out the list.
Yeah.
That's now how you index players. Making a video and moaning about that is not beneficial in any capacity to your life, understanding why that happened. It doesn't matter. It's like just putting weight on stuff that doesn't actually impact bottom line revenue or your happy. It's like, oh, but it should be an opt-in thing. It's like, no.
So you think why people try and choose meanings and ask why? Because it gives them an excuse. It justifies certain behaviors and it allows them to relinquish some control. So they can also almost use it as an excuse.
I don't understand the mindset. I don't understand why people would require meaning in a lot of cases. Like, as humans, we want to understand something so we can do it. But if it's something that really doesn't stop you doing your core job, just do your core
Why
job.
are you wasting time of trying to understand something that's
your
not gonna
priorities are
benefit you?
completely out of whack. It's like, sure, if you're self-employed, the only way you're successful if you're self-employed, and I mean properly successful, is if you just do the work. Like the real, let's make a list of all the things I've just done this week, and let's have a look at which ones generated the most revenue. Okay, well now let's just do those ones. It's like, don't waste talking to people about stuff that you're unhappy about. I'm sorry, but that just doesn't matter. It doesn't.
I think if you're moaning for the sake of moaning, then agreed.
But even if you just moan, it's like, even if it gets something out of you, right? Just turn it into motivation, do something with it. It's like, don't just sit back and go.
I think we're agreeing with the same point. We're just arguably trying to make it in different ways, but I definitely agree with what you're trying to say. But yeah, I think humans, we just try and make sense of things, almost in a way that it does pacify us, and it helps us understand, and then it helps us create a narrative. Ultimately, it then helps you create a narrative of who you are. And how you want there, right? I know, yeah. I don't know why there's so much emphasis on that.
Who you are.
Who you are. But then it helps you navigate the world because you've put a narrative on who you are and how you're going to move forwards. You know, if you've created a why that this person has left me because it was all about them and they cheated on me because it was blah, blah, blah. Well, then you're going to start navigating through life because of this narrative you've put on yourself.
Yeah.
So really, we have to almost be a little bit careful of the reasons why that we try and create. If it's something internal, that something's happened to us because of an external third party, then yes. You could go down to why has this happened, like I was thinking of almost natural disasters, people that are caught in earthquakes and tsunamis, and to the extent they ask why has this happened? You know, sometimes you just can't find the answer, but
live
other
in a
times...
stupid country for a start.
We live in the UK, which is one of the safest countries, if not the safest.
That's why I'm so
for...
confused that everyone isn't trying to live in the UK.
Okay.
If I lived elsewhere that had risks or unstable governments, I'd be rowing across the channel to get here.
Oh no, but they wouldn't get here because we'd send them home.
Oh yeah. Bit of a problem there, England. You might want to take a look at that one.
Yeah, let's not try and solve the immigration crisis, shall we? Let's just let everybody in. How about that?
Yeah. I mean,
especially... No, I'm not going to do it. I was going to try and stir the tea for those right-wing peoples. Because the only people we're letting into the countries are men that are rapists and murderers.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. That's why I get raped 4 times a day. It's not rape, just say yes. Cures all rape.
God damn.
Scared of paedophiles? Grow up.
It's a Jimmy Carr joke there,
It
isn't
is.
it?
Yeah. So is the other one.
Was it? Oh, okay. Nice.
That's how I can
I
say it
don't
with
like
such confidence.
Jimmy Carr because he offends me.
Mm.
No, he doesn't. I love it. Anyone that gets offended by humour needs to stop watching that humour person rather than...
Did you see Ricky Gervais's Instagram post recently?
No.
So he's brought out a beer, right?
Oh, I think I've seen this with the tube ones.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And he goes to put on the, we're all going to die one day anyway, so... But he's like blurred out that word. And they said, oh, you can't do that because that's basically telling people to be self-destructive. So he wrote out another one of all the truths on how dangerous alcohol is for you and then said, buy this beer. And they said, oh, you can't do that because that might scare off other advertisers in the ether that would like to advertise other similar products. And it's like, okay, so I can't lie. I can't say that it's bad for you and I can't say it's good for you either. So how do I advertise a beer? Very good. Very funny.
What a guy.
And then he just went on his Instagram. He got 460,000 likes in the first 24 hours or something. It's like, that's how you advertise your beer.
Yeah, well, at this point, he just needs to insult someone and then he's on brand.
Yeah, and it's even easier if you insult the government because everyone agrees anyway.
Yeah, true.
It's like they're easier. They are the kid in school that just gets knocked around.
Yeah, the fat ginger kid.
Wow. You're really going to go there, are you?
Yeah.
That's
Were
crazy.
you fat or ginger?
Actually, my beard, don't tell Sophie I said this, but it does grow slightly ginger there.
Barely.
But
Look at it.
Well, it's not long enough for it to be prominent, yeah.
Okay.
I did pluck out the 2 greys the other day, though.
Your 2 greys. Oh, very nice for you. 2 greys.
No, but you pull off the grey hair look.
Thank you.
with your grey beard.
Thank you. They call me Gandalf.
I was going to say Gandalf.
Are you ready for number 4?
Yes.
Cool. Number 4. Most unbelievable things ChatGPT has learned about humans since creativity. I feel like it's a personal attack, but that's fine.
Oh, really? It's
you long for connection but fear intimacy.
You long for connection but fear intimacy. Yeah, that is a personal attack.
That is a personal attack.
Go on, you take this one first.
I did ask ChatGPT to not bring it up on personal things, but hey, it clearly didn't listen.
It's like, no, you need to learn this lesson.
Brother, let me sit down. But it's saying for humans, and I don't identify as a human.
No, you're a fluffy, or whatever they call them.
A what?
No, what are they called?
A what?
What are they called?
I don't know.
Furry, not fluffy.
I've never heard of these.
No, they're weird.
Okay.
They're not people that have friends.
Okay.
They're people who slash their wrists.
Oh, charming.
Well, I assume. They should.
So humans crave to be seen, yet hide behind masks. So I think I'm going to break it down without it being personal to me. With that one, so crave to be seen, yet hide behind masks. Because we feel like sometimes we need to adjust to what outside stimulus expect us to be. I will be cool if I dress a certain way. I will be perceived as better than if I act this way. So we're almost looking to constantly adapt to what we think the external stimulus expects of us, rather than trying to be authentic to who we think we are and who we want to be and align ourselves with that version of ourselves, because we fear that if we do that, we won't be received by society, people that we put into a higher than now sense of self. We want closeness but fear vulnerability, so we want love without the risk. Yeah, it's a personal attack on this one, definitely. But yeah,
I quite like the risk of love.
Talk to me about the risk of love.
Like that's the spark. That's the bit that's like, yeah, this is like this. It's not completely like sorted, but it's also like you feel comfortable in a relationship, and that's cool. But you also know that the other person 10 years in the future could cheat on you, and it's over. Like that's the excitement. That's what makes it valuable.
How is that exciting? How is knowing the person you could spend your life with for 10 years could cheat on you, and that's, oh, I like that. Oh, no, it's a bit of thrill.
It means that you don't take it for granted, and like you want to keep working at it.
Better
is what
phrasing.
I meant.
Better phrasing. No,
maybe a bit of excitement.
Fingers crossed.
No, yeah, maybe poor choice of words. I'm not very good. Like, I've told a bunch of people to kill themselves this episode.
Yeah, this episode's gone wild.
I'm going to have to do a lot of muting just so I can live with it in the future.
Chat GPT has attacked us, and in response,
we're just getting
attacked everyone else.
Just pass it on. The circle of shouting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, have you ever watched Blackadder, the show?
I think I watched maybe one.
Oh, I loved Blackadder. It's great. If you haven't watched it, you should definitely watch it. Rowan Atkinson's unreal on it. And it's just that he gets shouted at by his master. He kicks a cat. The cat runs to a mouse, and then the mouse bites Baldric. And he's like, it's just a circle. Everyone kicks down. It's great. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
ChatGPT attacked us, so now we're attacking the singular person that's watching, which is ironically me. So now I might just kick a cat.
Yeah, I'm more worried about 7 years from now when this podcast just randomly takes off and I get arrested for, I don't know, hate speech or something.
Yeah, this is it.
I don't know.
Probably.
But yeah, no, I think it's you need to have like something at stake for stuff to have value. Like, I think one of the reasons money has value is because you can lose it.
Yeah.
One of the reasons we value live music is because it's live in that moment and then it's over.
Yeah, we value things that aren't infinite.
Yeah, that are fleeting.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we value them.
Like these podcasts. We only get to spend a short amount of time discussing things, and then it's over. The podcast is done, and we have to come back and do another episode.
And we don't talk to each other after that.
We don't.
As soon as these are off.
Yeah.
But...
The last thing you hear is the and then it's about, oh, hello, how are you? Yeah, okay, cool. Right,
We
then
honestly
work.
don't speak to each other again.
No,
It's wonderful.
Speaking of which, where do you want to go for lunch today? I'm starving.
Yeah, me too. We're almost there. So yeah, we long for connection but fear intimacy, Will. So personally, yeah, I feel this one very authentically. So I feel like I've built up a whole sort of wall, a sense of self and an armor around me to keep me protected. When in reality, that protection that I think I've built up is effectively shielding me from belonging with someone else, belonging as a community, in a society. So it's almost a catch-22. There's a subtle, sweet irony in that. Do you think you fear intimacy in any walks of life? Obviously, we immediately jump to romantic. Do you think social, business-wise, do you think there's any way that you miss or
Yes,
fear
I mean,
intimacy?
socially, definitely, it's a struggle to fit in, and that makes me feel very insecure and like concerned about how I behave, and afraid to be the most authentic version of myself in a lot of cases because I'm a dick. In business, in what context is this? This is when
Just fearing intimacy.
yes, it's well, I suppose it would be dealing with staff and hiring people. It's like, okay, well, how am I presenting to make people either want to work for me, number one, but number two, put their trust and their livelihood in me? It's like, that's a responsibility. That's terrifying. I don't want to think about that anymore. I'm responsible for somebody's income.
Well, that might happen for you soon.
Well, it has. I've hired an editor. Have I not told you?
No, yeah, you have. You
Yeah.
have hired an editor.
It's scary.
Yeah, but you're paying them regardless.
I know. It's just, it's
Did
me.
you decide if you're paying them per hour or per month?
We haven't decided yet. I think it'll start off per hour and move to a monthly
Nice.
thing is what. But I need to discuss that with him.
Yeah.
Oliver. Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Oliver.
Great editor. Not for this podcast.
No.
No, we can't quite justify that yet. Much as it pains me.
Yeah. So yeah, longing for connection. I agree. I am just going to say something I've said in probably every podcast is the moment, I do long for connection with a paramour, someone I can spend my life with, because I've said it before. I said it with a girl at work who ironically is also single, but we also know there's no attraction. It's really quite funny because we both agreed, but we're like, yeah.
You both agreed that you're single.
What we're about to say, which is, we've had these amazing, incredible experiences around the world, and you're like, oh, well, this is great, but also, who am I sharing this with? It's heartbreaking in a way. That's why I cherish all of my trips I had. Like when I went to Japan, although I know that we're both at different times, we both didn't enjoy it, but I'm looking back with such love for that trip because I got to experience from beginning to end the highs and the lows with someone. But at the moment, I do fear intimacy, and I'm aware of that. And I'm also, as much as I want to change it, I'm not in a rush to change it because priorities for me right now are like this podcast, and work unfortunately has to be in that because
that's how you pay your bills.
If I wasn't working anymore and the pod was making the money, I'd have secondary time. But at the moment, I don't.
No, you wouldn't. You'd work twice as hard on the podcast.
No, I will work twice as less.
Twice as less.
Yeah.
What a sentence.
Yeah, twice as less. Makes sense. Disprove it. You can't. Moving on. Exactly.
Because it's not a sentence.
Well, I said it, so it makes it a sentence.
So, as is the only connective word there. You just say, mug as glass.
It is.
Mike has table.
Twice as less. Yeah.
Connor as light.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Have you never watched Anchorman?
No.
That's from Anchorman. So one of the guys said, 60% of the time, it works every time. And Ron Burgundy, the Will Ferrell character, goes, that doesn't even make sense. It's great. Great movie. Anyway, are you ready for number 5?
Yes.
The last one. Ironically, Chat GPT has picked one that we've both spoken about before on our shorts.
Oh.
Yeah, right? You suffer more in imagination than in reality. Yeah.
Yeah.
most of the pain is born in anticipation rather than the actual reality.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? What do you have to say on you suffer more in imagination than in reality?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
It's,
Great.
Yeah,
Job done. There
job
we go.
done.
End of the podcast. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Like, of course you've got to be... My stomach's rumbling.
You are hungry.
Of course you've got to be in more pain in anticipation of the thing than actually doing the thing, because that is a warning sign to your body to just not do it. The problem is, with our logical brain, because we have frontal lobes, we can see that something is better for our long-term benefit versus short-term gratification. So as I was saying earlier, we've become too smart for our own good. It's like, this is why maybe people more naturally do the things that are more damaging to them long-term in the short term. Because
it's easier.
It's easier. You get instant gratification. It's like, oh, I'm going to buy that thing because it looks nice.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but that's not working towards your goal of buying a house or going on a holiday or buying a new car.
Oh my god, it's so difficult when you start earning good money though, isn't it? You just want to buy everything.
I was watching a documentary the other day about a musician, and he had a really nice chain on. And I don't wear chains or jewelry or whatever, but I was like, oh, I want a chain like that. So I was having a look, and I was like, yeah, but okay, well, I can get them for like £3, and they're like the really cheap, horrible ones. I was like, yeah, but I've got a bit more money than that, so I could like maybe £100. Oh yeah, but that one that I really like is like £600. Like, and then you click on like £600 to £1,200 filter, and you're like, but that one that's £1,200 is really nice. And it's like, well, I could just buy that, and that'd be really cool for like when I push the buy button.
Yeah.
And then it would arrive 2 days later, be like,
What the fuck have I done?
Why have I done this?
Yeah, agreed.
So if I get one, it's because it's a present. I wouldn't spend my own money on it.
The thing with this one, suffering and imagination, is because we predict. Our brain is always working overtime. It never turns off. It is always constantly working.
Amen.
Yes, sir. But it's predicting futures that are never going to happen. It's going to live out and expect and think about every possible outcome to a scenario. And in reality, that's going to keep us trapped, because rather than actually living the reality, we are just creating this imagination, this dream world. And it can be as simple as, well, I'm not going to apply for that job because they're just going to laugh at me at the interview. They're not going to accept my application. So then you never step out of your comfort zone and reach for the job. I'm never going to ask that girl or boy out because in my imagination, they're laughing at me because I stepped out the gate and tried, and now suddenly I'm lonely. So it's better to stay safe.
Anyway.
Yeah, this is it. Be lonely anyway. So the mind rehearses pain as a form of control, but it only deepens the suffering. So it just creates just this loop that you're just going to live in. You're going to predict, not act, predict, not act. And rather than just living life and accepting the consequences that are in front of you, you're just going to live in this imagination dream state.
Yeah.
Do you think you suffer more in imagination than in reality?
I put myself in constant pain emotionally just so I can get work done. It's like I have to, like, for me to work and know that I've worked hard enough in a day, I've got to be like breaking down walls and like, I don't know.
You gotta be the Kool-Aid man.
Just editing constantly, like making edits better. It's like I'm fighting with a ferociousness that I can't even describe how hard it is, just because I'm terrified of not being a success, whatever success means. And like, it's even more scarily, like if somebody was to ask me when I was in my 70s, how much of your potential did you live up to in your life? I'd hate to say anything other than 100, but I've already wasted so many years of my life when I was pissing about being an accountant, and I'm angry about that because I could have put so much more. I could be on 10 million subs now if I just worked.
But I would argue and say that you're actually not suffering more in imagination because you are living the reality. You are working to stop that suffering happening in your imagination. So
no, but it's the pain of, I'm putting myself in that situation already. It's the imagination of the future, and if I don't work this hard, then I'm stuffed.
But you're acting on it. That's the difference. People don't act
It's still worse than I can ever do, though.
Yeah, I get that. I definitely get the point you're making. But you are acting on it, which again, so many people will not, because they'll just be stuck in that mindset of, well, I don't want to step out of my comfort zone because it's too scary, or you're framing it in a really positive way in the sense it's inspiring you to work harder, where some people will inspire it to just not even take action. So it'll be demotivating. That suffering, that pain is demotivating as opposed to motivating, which I know is something that you really struggle with. People taking something that is perceived to be difficult and not taking it into a motivational standpoint rather than letting it demotivate you. So with this one, you suffer more in imagination than reality. Seneca, if you know Seneca.
Maybe.
Stoic philosopher. Called borrowing sorrow from the future.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. Yeah. So you suffer more in imagination than in reality. This plays out in my life because I am, or used to be, definitely less so now. When I was younger, I definitely would be very much more in my own head rather than just doing the thing. I'd think about doing the thing and imagine all the different ways it might happen or all the different ways it might go wrong. Whereas now I think I'm just better at just doing. You know, I used to be really scared about how other people perceive me, what sort of clothes I would wear. I'd be really scared about talking to people or going outside my comfort zone and being that kind of like a bit more charismatic, charming person. Whereas now I'm just like, oh, I don't really care, you know? Because I think the element of this is what it's trying to say is by suffering in your imagination, you're not becoming who you could truly be because you're not living out your truest, authentic reality.
Yeah. But it's also important, I think, to plan ahead and sort of feel the pain in anticipation of a thing happening so that you can avoid it. But this, I think, what this is really saying is exaggerating pain in your head from a situation that was genuinely painful, and that could be emotionally or physically. But so if you have a breakup, your brain isn't just going to say, okay, a breakup happened and I'm sad. It's going to say a breakup happened and I'm sad, and oh my goodness, what else is that person doing now? That like maybe they're going out and sleeping with loads of other people, and like your brain just spirals. It's like that's all stuff that you fabricated in your head. You have no idea what that person's doing. As far as you know, that person could be absolutely reeling and thinking they made the worst decision of their lives and like wish they could find a way to get back. It's like your brain doesn't jump to that. Your brain jumps to the thing that makes it most painful for you.
And we're a prediction machine. Our brain is a prediction machine. It's trying to understand everything, but it's always trying to understand it with insufficient information.
Yep.
And sometimes the best way to get information is to do the thing.
Do the thing.
Get the information.
Yeah. And just like that, we've circled back round to being self-employed is better than being employed.
Do you know what's really funny is I watched one of our podcasts yesterday and I laughed audibly out loud at something we said, which was where you had found a way to go back to being self-employed. And I'm like, the two were not linked. And I laughed because I was like, the two are not linked. And
yeah.
It was funny.
No, but we just did it.
Did we?
We came back. Yeah.
Okay.
It's making decisions with incomplete information. That is being self-employed. There you go. Always find a way to circle it.
So what I should do is just quit my job and be self-employed.
I think everyone should quit their job and be self-employed.
Okay, I'll hand in my notice tomorrow then.
That'd be amazing if you could do that.
What would you do if I did?
Give you a big high five and a hug because you'd need one. And then you're like, what have I done? And then I'd be like, right, here's the work. And then we build out a schedule that could be more permanent. So that we could be like, okay, this is our recording time for this. We just become more organised about it. Know when we're going to do shorts, know when we're going to do lives, make sure a live goes out every day. Because lives are the same as shorts. It's like every day is great. Consistency, same time. People know when to show up. It's like, yeah, we could do loads. Be great. Be sick. But it would still take like 18 months because you're just waiting for YouTube to trust the channel.
Yeah.
But if you guys keep buying Huel, then maybe we could retire him earlier into the YouTube world.
Couple more of those £4 and I'll be there.
Ayo.
Well, we are at time, so I'm going to recap the 10 most the first 5.
The first 5, yeah.
Pow, 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 pow. The 10 most unbelievable things Chat GPT learned about humanity.
Humanity.
I know. I need food, bro. You build systems that cage you, then call it progress, which you disagree with.
Yeah.
Whatever. Humans can hold two opposing truths and still function. You seek meaning even in chaos.
Yeah.
You long for connection but fear intimacy.
Ouch.
And you suffer more in imagination than in reality.
Yes.
Which one of those jumps out at you is your favourite key take home of the episode?
I think the last one. Suffer more in imagination than you do in reality. Yeah, like use it to motivate you if you can, but like it's not easy. That's what hard means. That's what hard work is. It's like, how much can you emotionally torture yourself so that you can work hard? It's like, that's how I live my life.
I like it.
And it's terrifying constantly because you think everything's going to crumble around you. It's like I'm in constant paranoia about my whole life crumbling, and it's
Sounds healthy.
yeah, but yeah. Yeah, I'm doing great, everyone.
Do you know what we should do then? Is just move to a country where like this money goes so much further. Like I saw you could buy a 3-bed villa on the beach in Indonesia for the same price you could buy a house down south. So let's just do that.
No.
Mine is, and I think it might surprise you, is you seek meaning even in chaos. The reason
that doesn't surprise me.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
I thought you'd think my one would be you long for connection but fear intimacy.
I think that's just an acknowledgement of truth. I think this one is more suiting to your personality,
Yeah.
which is, trying to find meaning.
Always try and find why. Yeah, I think I found this one really insightful. Really, sometimes it's nice to have things echoed back to you to be like, oh wow, yeah, that is exactly what we do. I'm aware of 3 and 4 and 5. I'm aware that I long for connection and fear intimacy. I'm aware that I suffer more in my imagination. But having it echoed back that we seek meaning even in chaos is like, oh wow, yeah, damn, we do that. But I've been thinking of this word all day. I'm ready.
What do we say at the end of the episode? You're just going to say cantaloupe.
No, I am actually going to change it because that wouldn't work. Because I was going to do motor and you did that last time, so I'm like, it's not going to be. But I've got one now.
Okay. Perineum.
I was never going to get that. I can't even pronounce it, let alone spell it.
Okay. Fair enough. What did you go with?
Cheese.
I was close.
No, you weren't.
I really wasn't.
Isn't perineum a type of cheese?
No, perineum is... Anyway.